You had fun getting here today.
I did. So we had 6 dogs in the car. I was picking up the last 2. I even set it on the GoPro. Those boxers sure do fart a lot, but it was a poop. Somebody pooped in the trunk. So I carry baby wipes and garbage bags.
So it's sort of,
clean that up.
is having poop in the car just one of those hazards of this job that people
Really
don't think about?
It is. And puke and poop, puke. All happens.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, not always. But typically my day does not include poop other than picking it up in a bag. Other than that, it doesn't happen in the car often.
You love dogs, but now, do you ever wonder if you could turn that love into a career or a job? Well, today on the season premiere of NSK9, we meet people who have turned their passion for their canine friends into a career.
I was miserable at my office job, and my
Like
dog...
a lot of people.
Yes, exactly. I was battling some depression, and my dog walker quit. So I only used him every now and then when we had super long days or we had a day trip to Cape Breton or something like that when I just couldn't make it home. So I texted Chris and said, I think I need to quit my job and become a dog walker.
Liesje's feelings aren't too different from many people. She needed a change. She wanted to do something she loved. But quitting a stable job with a regular income, when you have a family to support, to work with dogs, well, that takes courage. And it doesn't happen overnight.
So I took my lunch break every day and went to Shuby Park and walked my dogs every single day, and eventually people were like, you're here every day anyway, I can't make it tomorrow, could you bring my dog? And I was like, sure, I'll take your dog. Before I knew it, I had 4 clients, and I had to ask my office job if I could have an extra few minutes on my lunch. So we had a budget, and we looked at the budget and said, I personally have to contribute this number to this budget, and when I could, then I could quit my day job. And then hopefully, I wouldn't be at the bare minimum forever, hopefully it would go up and up and up. I was shocked. My father, who was in business for himself for most of his life, was shocked. We were all shocked that we could actually make the numbers work.
Making the numbers work is hard enough in any business, but Liesje found a way to do it and have a job that involves working with dogs every day. Her clients have grown from 4 to over 80. Now, it's easy to forget this is a business, and that does mean hard work. Everything from doing interviews to creating schedules.
The first thing I do is a 30-minute interview in the people's house. And so when I walk in, I obviously smell like most of these critters. And so when I walk in, if they smell me all over and they're interested, that's always a good sign. If they smell me all over and then go hide or growl, then it's not a good sign. They typically are not really down to be with other dogs. So I schedule on Sunday nights. Everybody texts me their wish list for the week, what days they want their dogs to go, sometimes what time. I have a morning walk and an afternoon walk, and sometimes people are going out in the evening and it'd be better if the dog went in the afternoon. So then I sit down with my schedule and my areas, because I do service Dartmouth, Cole Harbour, and Eastern Passage. And I sit down with the area, what people want, and I put them down, and if it's possible, we make it happen.
Some of these places that you walk and some of the other dog walkers go, you guys actually maintain a garbage bin collection of some sort.
We do. We have a schedule, so my day to pick up the poop bag is Monday, and somebody else's Wednesday, and somebody else's Friday. And the people that use the trails other than us also contribute to the garbage pile. And if we notice, sometimes there's dumping that happens, or anything like that, we try to keep the trails clean. We don't want to be the blame for the trail getting messy. We're always watching for wildlife. There's always a good chance, there's hawks and osprey in these woods. There's always a good chance that one of them will swoop down and pick up a smaller dog. So you want to make sure your pack's big enough that that doesn't happen. With the larger dogs, I don't ever fear for my life out here. I don't worry that there's coyotes going to come get me or anything. It's like you have to have a good mechanic because you got to be on the road, right? So I have a really great mechanic. If I pull in, he's like, what do you need? He stops, he comes out, takes care of me down at bench.
Well, there's a lot to think about with this, isn't there?
Well, I had no idea really until, you get a nail in your tire 3 days in a row. And you're like, what am I going to do?
But you also sort of need to get along with the other dog walkers who use the area.
In this case, in this area for sure.
And if you think after all that work you're going to get rid of the other duties as assigned clause at your job, well, think again.
Every now and then there's a stray dog, a dog gets loose from their owner and ends up in here and we help. If there's a call out in the evening where somebody lost their dog in here, I come. It's my woods too, and it's scary in the dark. Been here, done that, it's scary in the dark. So you don't really want to see anybody else in here, especially somebody who's not got the gear. I've got good winter boots, I've got good hiking boots, I've got summer hiking shoes. You just got the gear.
There's a lot more involved in this than just,
you just can't walk
I'm
a
going to
dog.
quit my job and become a dog walker.
But I do highly recommend everybody purchase the right gear, even if you're just going to walk your own dog. It makes every dog walk way more enjoyable if you have the right gear on. In the rain, in the mud.
In the mud, yeah.
In the snow. If you've got the right gear on, you can walk your dog forever.
You must have had a passion for dogs. I mean, this isn't something that somebody decides, I'm looking for a job. I think
No, it's dirty, it's buggy. You have to love this.
You have to pick up poop.
You have to pick up a lot of poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think would turn a lot of people off.
Absolutely. Most people don't pick up their own dog's poop. Everybody loves the idea of being a dog walker. Everybody loves the idea. They all think it's amazing.
Come out tomorrow when there's 30 millimeters of rain.
But when it's raining, nobody...
He's out here then too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When is it not amazing? Because it's got to be, everybody has days that they go, oh, what am I doing?
I do have days. I ran the half marathon at Blue Nose and had to walk on Monday. That was a tough day for dog walking. I sprained my ankle bad and still had to dog walk. So, there are moments in time where you go, geez, this is going to hurt. But the dogs don't care how far or how fast. They just want to be out. And they want to be with you.
Wagging tail is a form of communication, and it can be, I don't want you anywhere here, or I'm really friendly. And there's also, they've even studied it to whether it's going to the left or to the right or circling, and they all mean something different.
Good dogs.
I was an engineer in the Navy for 26 and a half years. And then I got out of the Navy to help my wife with dog walking.
Okay, so my husband was in San Diego with his submarine, and I called him up and I said, the numbers work, retire.
In that, we discovered that there was a need for groomers. There was a shortage for groomers.
Maybe you wondered who the guy in the red shirt was earlier in the show. Well, meet Chris. And when Chris talks about helping his wife with dog walking, that's Liesje. Her business had grown. In fact, it included not only dog walking, but transporting animals to Metro's emergency clinic. Chris left his job as a submariner in the Canadian Navy to become a dog walker, but found his own passion in grooming. So is this the kind of thing that you thought, when you're in the Navy and you're sitting there going, what am I going to do when I leave the Navy? Did this ever cross your mind?
No. I honestly thought for a little while I was never going to leave the Navy. It's quite a change. I never would have seen myself being here. But now that I'm here, very awesome.
What attracted you to doing grooming? Because, I mean, there's a need, but it has to be something that you go, yeah, I might like to do that.
I didn't know I would like it. What I was thinking was, well, I mean, I guess having another skill is not going to be a problem, and really, how hard can it be? Is what I thought. I thought, what the heck? I'll take a course, and it'll be good, and make some money at it, you know. And so it was kind of a suggestion from someone else, and I kind of went with it. But it's worked out well in that I really do enjoy it.
So what is it about grooming that's enjoyable for you?
I think there's a start and a finish. There's a, you know, you have the dog that comes in that is in need of a groom. There's a starting point, and then there's a finish. And that finish is often in your head, what you want it to look like or what the owner wants it to look like. And when I was doing the course, I found it in my little mind, I found it very methodical, and there's an order of things to do, and there's a number of things that you have to do for every dog, and every dog, the result may be different, but the order of operations is still the same. And that made sense to me as a former engineer. We were very procedural, very, you know, here's a start, here's a finish. Something's broken, go fix it. And that made sense to me. It's just using a different set of tools and a different set of skills.
And much like dog walking, there's more to grooming than even Chris could have imagined. Something he quickly realized during training.
It was funny, when I was doing the course, and they started talking about the equipment and the brushes and the clippers and the combs, I thought, well, isn't a brush, a comb, a comb? And that chapter was like sticking needles in my eyes. It was painful to try and learn all that stuff because it was so foreign. So that was me looking back at the last time I groomed to make sure I'm getting using the right length of clipper. Their hair reacts differently, and depending on how humid it is and how long it is, how short it is, how fine it is, how coarse it is, you use different brushes to get different things done. But no, it was very interesting to me to learn. And then once I put it into practice, stand up. Once I put it into practice, oh, here, stand up. Okay. You get to see and truly understand what each equipment does. People come in and say, I want this type of tail and that type of ear and this type of body. And it's a mixture of different breeds, which is fine. I mean, you can that's how you can give dogs character by doing something a little bit off breed standard, or breed of like one kind of tail on a different kind of dog kind of gives them a little different character, a little different personality. And owners sometimes do that too. Some owners are very particular. I have one owner who, every time she comes in, she knows exactly what she wants. And from her last groom, she makes notes about what not to do, or what to continue doing, or what to change this time. And it makes my job very easy when they do that. I find that people want their dog to look cute and nice and clean. They want their dog to be a cute pet that everybody goes, oh, look how cute that pet is. One of the people that I worked with when I was training said, no matter what, the dog has to be cute. You can give him the wrong cut, but it still has to be cute.
What are some of the most interesting things that have happened to you in this line of work?
Well, you clean up poop off the table.
That seems to be an ongoing thing. Everybody, it doesn't matter what business I talk to that somebody does with dogs, the first thing they always talk about is the poop they have to pick up.
Well, your vocabulary and idea really changes, like, because dogs don't vet themselves that way. It's when they go, and you kind of rely on the owners to take them out before they're here, because they're here for the better part of 3 hours by the time they get all said and done. And if the dog has not gone out, then they're going to go when they need to go. I like it when people bring in the pictures of the dog the way they want, and it's not even the same breed of dog. Clients will come in and say, I'm just going to give you creative freedoms. Well, I'm an engineer. If it's a straight line, I'm good, typically. So the first time I heard that, I was a little, you okay? You're right. The first time I heard that, I was a little taken aback because I didn't really know what to make of it. I thought, creative freedom, that's interesting.
Yes. And the way you figure that out is that when you see them start to run, it's which front foot goes out first. And that'll tell you whether they're left or right.
Come here, Oscar. So it was just after a Halloween movie came out about a doll.
Okay.
It was a very scary movie about a doll. And there was one here in the woods. The kids must have been in here playing around. And I had a couple of dogs who would pick the doll up and shake it and then run with it and drop it. And there's another dog walker who walks in here and she sends me this text and she says, oh my God, the doll moved. Did you see that doll? It's been moving around the forest. And I had to text her back and say, it's totally my fault, man. I'm so sorry. I scared the crap out of you. It was my dogs. They would pick the doll up, play with it, and then they would drop it. And at one point, I even hung it in a tree. And I wasn't even thinking about anybody else walking through the woods. She was petrified. She said, I almost stopped walking in there because of that darn doll. It was hilarious. The people sometimes are an issue. They're a little, like if the people are home during the day, they want to talk about how the dog's trip was and who they played with and all that stuff. And I have a few minutes to share with everybody, but if I have 6 to 8 dogs and 6 to 8 people are home and they want 6 to 8 updates, my day's shot.
Wow.
Yeah, but everybody loves to see the pictures. And we post pictures every day of every dog on every walk.
You really do have to have a heart of ice not to smile at the fun and excitement in the sometimes blurry photos that appear each day on Doggy Poo Services Facebook page. They're the moments from Liesje's day. But for our clients, they're about much more. They're about trust, sure. But they're also about knowing what their family members' days were like.
So people usually hire people to do a service, and they can only but hope that it's being done, especially if it's one where I have a key to somebody's house. I go pick up the dog, they're not home. I say I'm gone for an hour, they're in the car for 60 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
How would they know?
All the services that are available for dogs, like grooming and dog walking, and like, it's a huge industry now.
It is. It's huge. And people, a lot of people are choosing not to have children and only to have dogs. So it's a booming industry because of that as well, where people don't have 3 kids anymore. They have 1 and maybe a dog or 2.
A little like the mailman, this is every day for Liesje and Chris.
Come on.
Through rain, through sleet, through snow, sometimes through mud, and sometimes even in sun. But always with dogs.
What are the best moments that come to mind?
Okay, every time I open the door, every time I open somebody's door, the dog is excited to see me. They're waiting, they're happy, they're excited. The owners say, they never act like this for anybody but you. I can't tell you how many times I've heard it, and I want to hear it 1,000 more times, because that is the best feeling, to know that that dog doesn't act like that for anybody but me. Being out here in the woods with the dogs, no social media, no telephone ringing, no office politics. It changes your whole mindset. All right.
I think a lot of people would go, this is a big change from being in the Navy and sailing the 7 seas.
Everybody does. People who I haven't seen in a while ask what I'm doing, and I tell them, and they always question me, you do what? But I really do enjoy it. There's a start, there's a finish. Some dogs, you can actually see the expression on their face change.
I know why I like them, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. If you're having a bad day and you haven't, or you're feeling down about, not getting enough done or anything, they don't care. He doesn't care that the laundry's not done. She doesn't care that I haven't made the phone call that I've been meaning to make for weeks. They don't care. They're just happy to see you. They're happy to be with you. Dogs don't care whether your to-do list is 500 items long. They're just happy to be with you, and they have no expectations. They don't expect that it's going to be a great big marvelous trip. They don't expect that it's going to be a 2-second trip. They have no expectations. They're just happy to be. And it's hard to find that in the world these days. People, every time you talk to somebody, they have an expectation. Every time somebody asks, your kids are asking for stuff, you didn't get the garage cleaned, that sort of thing. Everybody has an expectation except for your family pet, your dog. They just want to be.
Don't think for a second that working with dogs, no matter how much fun, isn't a lot of hard work. It is. But Liesje and Chris do get to just be, enjoying their canine friends and pursuing careers that bring them happiness. They've achieved something so many people dream about, enjoying life and spending their days with dogs. Visit us online to tell us your dog stories for possible inclusion in future episodes. And don't forget to share photos of your canine friends on social media with the hashtag NSK9.
And this is a normal walk. Like what you saw the other day when I had Chris with me is a normal walk, but I had more because Chris was there. This is what I would normally do. Bruin says, don't mess with me, Zora.
Next time on NSK9, we'll be talking about what to consider when choosing a purebred dog.
What I tell people, I said, check with BMDCC if you're looking for Bernese to try to get a really good idea of whether or not this dog suits your lifestyle. They'll have a list of premier breeders and they'll list what their tests they do so that you'll know.